Hi, Phil. So you just came back from the ISA convention last week. So tell us what are the three things that you learned, please.
Well, Nelson, that's very direct of you. Well, ISA, Industrial Supply Association, is an organization for the benefit of distributors and the suppliers that take care of them.
Yeah.
And part of that convention, that virtual convention, was a lot of content in terms of learning and educational seminars. And so I attended quite a number of them, but I did select three things to talk about today. So Pascal Finette labels himself the practical futurist.
Okay.
And I think anytime you hear the word futurist, sometimes that scares people away.
Yeah.
But he's very practical. And one of the things he talked to us about was learning to recognize weak signals that become strong signals going out.
Mm-hmm.
And so the example he gave was we had video phones in the 1990s.
Yeah.
And that technology was clumsy, it was expensive, it was hard to deal with, and the other person had to have the same video phone system in order for you to communicate back and forth.
Yeah.
As time has gone on, the internet has expanded, the bandwidth has gotten greater, the speeds have become faster, and now everybody does Zoom and Google Hangouts and Microsoft Teams and so on and so forth. So this is an outgrowth of video phones from the 1990s. And we had 30 years to think about this and capture this idea.
Yeah, and it's unbelievable is how Zoom became even, a word, almost a verb, right? I see that, almost in every single email from customers, vendors, my kids' school, even grandpas talk about let's do a Zoom. So they really were in the right moment, right? And the perfect timing in order to get into that one. And definitely was a weak signal. What would be the second thing that you learned from it?
We had a speaker, Marcus Sheridan, who is a digital sales and marketing expert.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
One of the things that he said to us was that 90% of the business adjustments that we made for remote working, which was accelerated by the pandemic,
Yeah.
are here to stay.
Yeah.
Everybody talks about what happens when life goes back to normal, and will we all go back to the office, and will we all go to movies and do the things we used to do.
Yeah.
He presented statistics that suggest that 75% or greater, I'm actually rounding down on the number, that for most business situations, customer interactions prefer the video or the Zoom format. Prospects prefer the Zoom format. Colleagues, if like you and I, it's obviously much easier for us to communicate this way than it would be to get on a plane every time we needed to say hello.
Definitely, yes.
And your suppliers. So, there are so many benefits to this, and the drawbacks are relatively limited. Obviously, it's not the same as having in-person contact and eye to eye, but people sense when you're serious about something.
Yeah, and I think we sense that. I mean, now talking with all our customers and even the prospects right now, when we talk about visiting and so forth, I think some businesses are open for it, but again, people are using or they expanded the communication channels they used to have. So it seems that statistic is right on what we have witnessed. So let's talk about the third one that we like the most.
The third one is my homage to Nelson Valderrama. You and Daniel have been big proponents of doing these videos. And one of the things that Marcus said was, don't let your personal opinions get in the way of making good business decisions.
Yeah.
And I personally am not crazy about videos, but here's the statistic that will change your mind. Social videos generate 1,200% more shares than text and images combined.
Yeah, that's
So this is the wave of the future. People want to consume video content, and that's what they like to do.
yeah. And I think that's what we have been doing these videos now for 2 months because I think people like them, despite the fact that my accent is really thick, right? And that I'm trying to get, gain gray hair as you have. So hopefully they like both things.
I'm a little ahead of you on that, but I learned all that thanks to our friends at the Industrial Supply Association and their virtual convention last week.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Phil.